I did not have very high hopes coming out today, but I went, well, it's part of the routine. Gotta do it. We gotta at least try and practice. Real bad thunderstorms rolled through yesterday, and it was predicting the forecast to just be all fog, clouds, nothing today. As you might already guess, judging by the amount of light that's on my face right now, that's not it at all. It's a lovely day. No clouds at all in the sky or anything. And we've got plenty of sunlight. We're out right at sunrise, so I gotta hop to it and get going, but never been here before. This is another place that was recommended, and just like last time, all right, gotta figure something else out for this. This is not staying anymore. Anyway, let's go take some photos of birds. Well. Good spot. This place, although popular, and there's a lot of people here to walk, definitely can work for my purposes, especially early in the morning when nobody's here. Now, I did something different than usual. I don't think I saw that much today. I'm hoping I don't think we got any good shots necessarily by the definition of what I've set for myself. Things that I feel good about. I don't necessarily think that anything really is going to turn out because we didn't really get that close or see very much today, but potential for sure. And I did something a little bit different where there's a lot to this place. It goes very far deep back that way, and I didn't wind up going. I was going to. That was the plan. And then I went on a little side path over by the lake, which was suspiciously empty. Like, almost no birds. Basically no birds. I think I maybe saw a heron on the very far side. And there was a mallard at one point going over it, but I don't actually know if it was on the water at any point. But that was basically it as far as the lake goes. Nobody was fishing. But there definitely is fish in the lake because I saw them. They were jumping up out of the water. They were fishing. They were fly catching. They were eating. The road's going to be a bit bumpy with the... I forget what those are called, the little divots. I learned at one point that they were caused by wind, strong wind, and they'll come through the multiple little divots in the road there. They'll come through and smooth it out, but it just happens all over again. So it's not like it's a permanent thing. But anyway, I think this place had a lot of good potential. I think basically the only birds we could really identify at any point were house wren, I'm pretty sure, and I heard a beep, couldn't figure out what it was. The house wren and a bunch of magpies when we got there, a large gathering of magpies. So that was cool. I wonder what you call, like, crows are different. A murder of crows. Oh, this is fun. You really don't get a lot of... You pull way up in order to see. And there's a lot of cars, so this is going to be interesting. But anyway... Yeah, I don't think we necessarily saw all that much. Nope. The car coming. There's still nothing that way for a minute. There's nothing this way now, and we're good. Okay, not too bad. I'm gonna go see if maybe the Anhinga is there again, because why not? Definitely walk. I think this could be a good place for a couple of reasons. One, seemed like unless people go fishing, and I don't know why they're not right now, this seems like it was totally empty. Nobody even came anywhere near where I was there at the lake, which seems weird, and I'm not sure why, unless there's certain seasons. Or just nobody happened to be out doing that this morning, fishing or going on that side. But the path goes further on, and I was going to walk it, but I did something different. That's what I was saying. I started going, I went along the lake, and then I saw the path goes all the way down, like into the trees, basically, and it kind of dead ends. And I'm there looking around, and I thought about it and went, okay, before it, like, obviously we've gotten to the end of there, not seeing too much, turn around, go back, get on the main trail, go all the way through, was going to be that probably what I typically would do. But I thought about it and went, no, you know what? Let's do something a little bit different that I think can probably help out. And I just explored that area back and forth, up and down for the rest of the, like, I think we were out there 2 hours basically. And the majority, I don't think the battery lasted on the chest mount for the whole time. But I went all up and down the lake, and then I found another side path that kind of took me a ways, and it's all over. And I just really looked around at everything and took in all the various trees and where there might be spots, looking for like nests or cavities where they could build nests. Nope, this is the turn for, nope, okay, not the light. Just kind of taking it all in, learning, absorbing, paying attention, trying something different there, right? Paying attention, that's different. But no, really, like, trying to take it in a different way to kind of observe and see if they're, like, gauge it for future coming back to see. Because there definitely were, I heard birds. I didn't see quite as many as I would have hoped for, but that's okay. And I think this could be a very good spot to come back to, especially that side path. I don't think anyone, because the trail goes so much further, I don't think there's anybody who's going to be like walking that path necessarily, besides for the purposes that I'm doing. So I might be able to come back and set up a new video here, because there were a lot of spots where you had good like tree coverage in certain areas, and then open trees where certain birds will come and land on those dead trees and things like that. The only thing that could make this very different, but I've heard about this spot, that lake, the trailhead that goes all the way there. There's also a north one, but that's closed for heavy machinery. They're working on it. So we actually have been not too far. The last time we came out, not the last time, but the time before that, I was not too far from there, as it turns out. And we are right here. This is the road that the Anhinga was spotted off of up here. So I'm just going to stop and take a look, because we're driving by it basically anyway. So might as well. It was only a few minutes past. But yes, that's interesting how that one, it must connect. I'm trying to figure out where the trailhead actually is. No, I know, okay. The north one is going to be on a turn that's up here, which is closed, so there's nothing you can, that one's not going to do any good. I assume they're probably even using the parking lot for construction. I may have driven past it at one point when I was looking for a place to see the Anhinga. But anyway, and then further up is another trailhead, which we did go to. Saw some stuff there, but don't remember where I was going with that. Fact of the matter, point being, I did something a little bit different. I think I can come back. I think I can see video there. There we are. The only thing that might change that, today is August the 2nd, and they had a sign that said we will be closed the 4th through the 6th, because they're going to be taking down, just the entire trail is closed because they're going to be all over taking down non-native trees. Now that kind of sprung back in my mind a little bit to another time that we have been out here. Not out here, but out in general, if you've been following for a bit. A couple of years ago at this point, when we were back up on the mountain, I found that spot that I would go to more than anything. I think I've like revisiting. I think that one has the most total revisits, because it was a great little park. Not many people went there, in a quiet little town. It wasn't too populated or anything. Saw plenty of birds left and right. That was where we saw the hummingbirds nest. Hummingbird nesting was something that I've only seen once, very rare. That one time, no, it's not. We turn further up. Yes, once we cross. Okay, turn. We pull over. See if it's there. Are there any cars? It's a good sign of whether or not there is a car. Anyway, that was somewhere that we went to, and we went, okay, this has potential. You know, looked around, saw whether or not people were, you know, looks like they're all on that side of the road, which tells me that it's probably over there. Whether or not you can see it, I don't know. There's somebody set up with a tripod, so they might be able to, and it'd be cool to see it on that side of the road. So I'm gonna shut down the cameras. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm gonna go see if maybe they have seen it. Okay, so that worked, kind of. I don't think we're gonna be able to make out much there. There was a pair of ladies who had just they had set up a tripod with a spotting scope and had it dialed in on where it was so that they could see the anhinga on the other side this time. It's been over here the whole time that I have seen and actually been able to see it, but they spot it very, very far away, much further away than this, unfortunately. So none of this photo is not going to come out or anything, but it allowed me to do something that I've been thinking about. When we talked last and I came out, I was like, okay, I want that lens that's got a bit more reach to it, the one that I could actually afford, as opposed to getting one that I would realistically much rather want, but is about 3 times the price. It's something that I could probably not really afford anyway, but I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, now there's that, but there's also, it would be nice to have the option to swap over to a lens that has a bit more of a crop factor, because that does help when it comes to getting especially small little birds or things not so much further away. It does. I mean, technically, yes, it does. It's not like you're going to reveal all that much more. So anyway, it was a difference. But this camera, typically used for all the wildlife, and the other one, the other Sony one that I have, I mean, I guess I have 3 now, but anyway, the other one that I use for the landscape shots, both are full frame, which is typically what they do. And it's a beefy, I really like this. It's got a lot to it. Great features, main camera, everything's fine with that. But just in case, and this was the perfect situation where I thought, you know what I do have is this little one here, which is mostly for vlog stuff, but it's got a crop factor to it. And as I looked up, because I went, okay, what would it be? What if, you know, dream package here, let's talk about it. If I could somehow afford the lens, what if I could afford a camera as well that's like their, you know, their pro line of high quality, really good stuff, but it's got a crop factor to it. And I looked up and went, oh, well, there is one that they make that has the crop factor and the stuff, and you know, it's a smaller sensor. That's why there's a crop factor to it, but it has a decent, I don't remember the megapixel off the top of my head, but anyway, I looked into it and went, oh, that is the exact same sensor as what's on here. And I thought, okay, what are the other, you know, I went through the list of features, like, does it have, you know, faster frame rate? Not frames per second is actually when it's, you know, still photography. Nope, exactly the same. Pretty much exactly the same to that one. And I went, oh, okay, don't need to buy another camera. If I want something with a crop factor, I can just use this. It has the crop factor. It'll be fine. So then once I figured that out, you know, from the last time I went researching, I went, okay, I still think I will get that lens at some point. Hopefully when I can afford it. It'll just be, I'll have that in my bag, ready to talk over music that's playing, ready to go whenever necessary to, you know, go. And it'll just be there with me. I'll carry it with me and have that as an option for all the various things there. And I can just pop it on the big lens. Especially at that point, I would need a tripod. But that, like, that's the, oh, it's really far away. Here is pull out all the stops. The quality might not be the best, especially compared to something else. Like, this thing is a beast. I'm really happy with the photos that I've gotten out of that. But if it's in a pinch of, like, pull out all the stops, we're talking about that. What I described before was the lens 400 to 800 with a ×2 extender of a 1600 millimeter, and then a crop factor of, I think it's 1.6. tripod only. There is no way I could handhold anything like that and be able to stabilize it even at the fastest shutter speed. And then like you're running into it's a whole thing. But anyway, yeah, that's the kind of thing that I'm envisioning is like I have it set up on a tripod. I'm taking pictures. I was like, boy, wish I could get just a little bit closer. I could swap that body on. So that's cool. I got to try that out. We'll see if it comes out and if I'm happy with the results, because I have yet to like this body, since I bought it, I have used it to record video. I've used it for, that's pretty much become my main go-to talking to a camera that's not one of these handheld move about walking things. It's just like, this is going to sit on a tripod and I'm going to talk to it. I've been using that and that's worked really well for that purpose. But it could do more, and he tried to use it for more, so we'll see how that works. But anyway, good spot. I'll definitely be back to there. The winter will be interesting come that location, and we'll see. I think I interrupted myself with the fact that we were here and wanted to see Enhinga. We will see what that location is like. I took some pictures with the landscape lens of just like, oh, I see there are trees that are marked. Are these the ones that are going to get cut down? Because if so, it's going to kind of destroy the whole area that I just went to, and it might drastically change my plans, but I'll have to keep an eye out to see what it's like come next week. I will not be able to revisit this place on Monday because it will be closed for that purpose, but we will see. Trying to think if there's anything else that I need to cover. I think that's it for today. I think that's everything I needed to do. It was a good time. It wasn't a long time, and I didn't walk too far, and the reasons for that were both, as I explained before, I guess we just got some cloud coverage. I don't really need the sunglasses right now. Definitely had the thought of stop what you're doing, pay attention, focus in on this stuff, really take in the environment, think about it from the perspective of the birds. This is a good place near water. There's tree coverage here. There's not that many trees in Colorado compared to some of the other states that I've been in. Wyoming, I think, had even less. There's much more here than there, but like you talk about coming back from Georgia and the mountains there and the trees everywhere. There's lots more there. Didn't always mean more birds, but anyway, it gives them good coverage and hiding and things like that. So I took all that in, and the secondary reason was like, boy, I am not going to walk this whole trail. I already know for a fact that my legs are sore, my feet are tired. I started walking for cardio as opposed to riding the exercise bike, which is typically what I've been doing the past few years. And I went, no, you know what? I'm bored with it. I need something else. I'm ready to walk again. And so I walked a couple miles the last few days, every day for the last few days. And I feel it. Definitely getting back into that. It's going to be a bit until I don't feel it as much. Anyway, all right, I'm going to get out of here. I think this was a good time out. I hope some of the pictures came out from something, and if nothing else, then I learned a fair amount, and I visited a new place. We'll be back to visit more, and I will walk the full trail at some point, but just wasn't up for it today. And hopefully that little, I think that is good, because I think I still got something out of it as far as finding a location and scouting out for future purposes. I definitely think I could come back and set up for video in that little side trail where nobody goes and watch and see at sunrise. We'll see. Yeah. All right. Next time. Bye, everybody.